Hello, good people, DSST. This is the last video I'll be making for y'all. It's been so good to make these videos. Thank you for all of y'all who have been watching these. It's been great. So let's jump right into it. So when we're talking about electricity, what's really important to think about is that electricity always wants to take the path of least resistance. So think about that for a bit when I read this problem. Which bulb is the brightest with the switches open, meaning it is not connected to make a loop? And so right here we can see we already have an open switch, so we don't actually have to change the circuit at all. This is kind of how the circuit looks right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, when we talk about brightest, what we're talking about is we're talking about current, right? And we're talking about how much current can move through something. If we look at Ohm's law, we know that V is equal to I and R. And what that means is the velocity is equal to the current times the resistance. Right? And so so we know our V is going to stay the same, right? Because we have the same battery. But as we take different paths that have more resistance, our I may go down. And so let's look at these different paths that we can take. So first of all, we come out of the battery right here and we're going to be traveling and we have to go through this resistor because there's no other way that we can do it. But then we have a choice. We can either go to the right here or up right here. And we need to think like electrons. If we're electrons, do we want to go through path to the right, where we have to go through both C and D, or do we want to go through the top, where we just have to go through B? Well, we definitely want to go through the top, right? Because it's easiest to just go through B because that's our easiest, right? And so we can immediately say that C and D are out, because here we know we're not going to get much flow through them. Some electrons will go there because they have to, but not all of them are going to be chosen there. So then the question is, do we want to go through, which is going to be brighter then? Do we have a larger current right here at A, or do we have a larger current at B? And here what's really important to think about is right here, even though most electrons don't prefer to go here, it still got split, right? Some current went through B and some current went through C, and so the current got divided in two. But before it got divided in two, we know that it went through A right here, and so that's going to give us our biggest current right at the start right there. And a cool fact is if we flip this switch, right, all our electrons, since this will be a zero resistance, will immediately run up through here around this point right here. They'll skip both of these, all three of these, and A will actually be the only one that's lit. And so regardless of whether it's flipped or not, A is the brightest. And we can actually look at that if we have a PhET sim. So I'm going to exit out of PowerPoint real quick and just show you guys. So right here, we've got a PhET sim that's the exact same situation, right? And here you can see A is our brightest with the most electrons flowing through it. After that, we get a little bit of electrons flowing through C and D right here, and a little bit more flowing through B, but ultimately you can see that A is the brightest right here. I hope that helped y'all. If you have any questions, please reach out to your teachers. The circuits can often be a confusing topic that you really have to put your brain on it and think about it for a while. Thank you all for watching these videos, and best of luck finishing up the year.